Welcome, my friends from Guyana. I welcome you to IGNOU Guyana Skill Development Project, and today's session is on Introduction to Motorcycle and its part. I am Professor Ashish Agarwal, and with me Professor K. Tamil Mannan. We are from School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Maidangadi, New Delhi. So, till now we have introduced IC engine, different tools used in motorcycle repair and service, and today we are giving you an introduction to motorcycle and its parts. Let me first define what is motorcycle. Motorcycle is a transport vehicle which is used for transporting goods and passengers of fulfilling specific function on the land. That means, suppose somebody wants to go from one place to another place, he or she will use motorcycle, or we wants to carry some goods from one place to another place, then we use motorcycle. Now, in today's session, you should be able to identify various parts of motorcycle. You will be able to describe how does motorcycle work. You should be able to discuss the working of basic components of engine that we have already covered, where we will try to explain cooling and lubrication system. You will appreciate the importance and useful of cooling and lubrication system, and also we will define various grades of lubricant which are used in motorcycle. Now, if I describe again a motorcycle, first thing which I have described, that motorcycle is for transportation purpose. Another important thing is that motorcycle is driven by internal combustion engine, or in short we say IC engine. As I told you, it is used for transportation of passenger and goods. Motorcycle is a vehicle which is driven by power and it can move itself. In motorcycle, there are various systems, just like lubrication system, transmission system, electrical system, so that motorcycle can perform effectively. Now, what is the basic concept of a motorcycle? The basic concept is that it would provide a quality service and ensure troubleshooting is done according to the standard set by the company. This would further help the rider to do quality service and to ensure that troubleshooting is done according to the standard set by company. This I am explaining to you for the mechanic who is going to repair or service the motorcycle. Now, what are the general problems? General problems are, if there is a misfiring, this can be due to the faults in any one of the or more than one parts of the following. This is spark plug. There may be the problem in the gap between the two electrodes. Spark plug adapter, high tension coils primary and high tension coil secondary, pulsar coil, lamp coil, ignition, and several others which I have not discussed here, that can come in the later stage. This is a general picture of motorcycle, because in India we have a Hero Motors, we have a Yamaha, we have a Honda, but in your country the different, even Bullet or some Enfield can be, you must be using it. So, this picture will give you a general information about the motorcycle. Just like some parts, if you see the engine, seat, your tool and box, brake pad, then muffler, then headlight, rear light, your wheels, then your gear, then your pedal for starting, your pedal for changing the gear, and clutch also. So these are the general parts, and it is my advice, you should, if you have a motorcycle, you should see all the parts carefully, make a note of it, the name of the part. Now, what are the different parts? Just like muffler. Muffler is also called as heat protector. What is the function of muffler? Muffler is basically, it provides the protection from direct contact of hot silencer. You know that hot gases are coming, so the silencer becomes a very hot, or muffler becomes very hot. So we provide a heat protector, a simple perforated steel sheet which covers the muffler, so that your, as a driver, your feet or your leg should not touch the hot muffler. Battery compartment. There is a compartment where you have a battery, and the function is, the compartment is only, we can place the battery for starting of the your motorcycle. Kick start pedal. It is used to crank the engine. It will, if you kick the start pedal, motorcycle will start. Rider footrest. As the rider cannot, he needs a footrest, so that when the motorcycle is moving, he should take rest of her food on the footrest. Then brake pedal. Now, as the name indicate, it is used when you want to slow down the motorcycle, or you want to apply a brake for sudden stopping the motorcycle, you apply a pedal brake. Then sixth one is oil level dipstick. Dipstick, normally the oil tank is there, you have a dipstick, it is used to check whether the engine oil is level is proper or not. Now, various parts, just like I have given you on right hand side, now in left hand side you have a fuel valve. It is used to open or close the fuel supply. Then engine guard, for the safety of engine, because there may be some shock or some may be accident. So the engine guard provides a safeguard to the engine, because engine is a sophisticated. If there is a jerk, it will stop working. Gear shift pedal. We need another pedal which is also called gear shift pedal, and it is used to change the gears. Now, rider footrest. Somebody is sitting as a rider, somebody is sitting at the back. So we provide a footrest for the both rider as well as for the person who is sitting there. Main stand. When you are driving a motorcycle, you need a mount where the motorcycle can stand in a vertical position. So normally there are two types of stand, main stand and side stand. Side stand, when you just taking a temporary halt, then you can use your side stand. When you want to stop the vehicle, motorcycle for a longer time, main stand can work, the vehicle stand vertically. Then pillion footrest. As I told you, we need the rider footrest as well as pillion footrest. Another important sadi guard or any cloth guard. if we are wearing some loose pant or trouser, there should be one guard which should protect us. Rear carrier, you need a carrier where you can put your luggage for the rider as well as for the pillion. Left side cover, which covers the body parts. Then air suction valve, this is for allowing the air to come to exhaust to reduce the pollution. It will come to the along with the combustion exhaust air, and it will combine so that your pollution will be reduced. Then fuel tank, it is store and give supply of fuel to the engine. Then horn switch, it is used to operate the horn because if somebody is coming and you want to have the smooth ride, you will press the switch for horn, and the person walking here and there may be warned. Turn signal switch, if you want an indication while turning left or right, you have a turn signal. If you want to left, right or right, you can use that signal. Headlamp switch, in the night or in the cloudy season, you want to light your headlamp, and then a headlamp switch is provided so that you can use it for operating the hand lamp. Clutch lever. Clutch lever, as you know that the function of clutch is to engage or disengage gear for variation in the speed of a engine or to check the variation. Another important part is rear view mirror. Here the rider wants to see if there is any vehicle or what is coming from the backside. He will have the rear view mirror. It will basically guide the rider so that he should take a precaution. Headlamp dimmer switch. Sometimes what happens in the night, you are also operating the hand lamp. The person who is coming from opposite side, he is also switch on the headlamp. So sometimes what happens that your eyes some brightness is there, so that you want to dim the switch. So it is called the dimmer. You point dimmer so that you can easily see the person who is coming from opposite direction. High beam indicator. Sometimes we use the high beam indicator so that we can see easily the person who is coming. Then neutral indicator. It shows your motorcycle is in a neutral position of the gear. Some other important parts are speedometer. At the name indicate, it indicate the driving speed of the motorcycle. Then turn signal indicator. It will give indication to the person who is coming from the back that whether the motorcycle is turning left or whether motorcycle is turning right. Fuel indicator, it is an important indicator which is connected with the fuel tank. It is used to show approximate fuel quantity in fuel tank. Then odometer. Odometer is combined with your speedometer. It will show what is the accumulated mileage. Nowadays it is also if you going from one place to another place, and if you fix, then it will tell how many kilometers you have covered, how many miles you have covered. Then throttle grip. Basically in order to make a variation in the fuel supply or air fuel supply, we use a throttle grip. It is normally situated in the carburetor. It will increase or decrease the fuel supply. Ignition switch cum steering lock. And nowadays, in order to provide the safety or security, some ignition switch lock or steering lock is there. So, if you switch off ignition, so nobody can switch on without the application of that particular key. Similarly, you can also steering lock, so it cannot be in a right position. Fuel tank cap, it is used to close the fuel tank, because there must be some mechanism, so that because fuel is a volatile, it can go in the atmosphere. So, in order to check that, we use the fuel tank cap. Now, let me introduce that how the motorcycle is running. Motorcycle is running on the basis of heat engine or on the basis of a combustion. So, if in other words we can say that heat engine is a machine which converts heat energy into mechanical. And what does it mean by combustion? Combustion, if I take a general heat engine, there may be coal, there may be petrol, there may be diesel, or there may be gasoline. Heat is supplied to the working substance. In case of petrol, it is petrol air mixture. In case of coal, it will be the power or the steam. Heat is supplied to the water and steam is generated. Then by the expansion of this substance in suitable machine, that is engine, the heat energy is converted into the useful work. Now, what are the basic components of the engine? The major components of engine and their functions, this I am showing you a general cut model of the motorcycle engine, where the various internal parts are visible. If you whether you are driving, you are a owner or you are a mechanic, you should understand the basic components of the engine. This is one of the important part. This is a cylinder head. It is fitted at the top of the cylinder block, and it provides the space for the arrangement of your spark plug. Combustion chamber, camshaft, cam chain, valves, intake and exhaust manifold, all these are provided or fitted in the cylinder head. Now, second is your combustion chamber. Combustion chamber is a space between cylinder head and piston, and the piston head, when the piston is at the top dead center. The combustion of air-fuel mixture and the consequent release of heat result in building up of a pressure in this part of the cylinder, and this pressure generates the movement of the piston, and it further moves the crankshaft and the correcting rod. Now, crankshaft. Crankshaft basically controls the opening and closing of two valves. In case of 4-stroke, we have a valves which open when the piston moves or close when piston moves. So, the associated parts are push rod, rocker arm and valve springs. The camshaft is driven by the cam chain. Now, what is cam? Cam is an integral part of a camshaft, and it is designed in such a way as to open or close the valve at correct timings, because it is very important. Then inlet and exhaust valve. There are two types of valve, one is inlet and one is exhaust. Valves are commonly mushroom shaped, as you know that what is the shape of mushroom. So, basically inlet and exhaust valves are both in a mushroom shape. They provide on the cylinder for regulation of charge coming into the cylinder, inlet valve, and discharging the product of combustion as a exhaust valve from the cylinder. Now, this is a cylinder block or cylinder. Basically, it consists of your all the piston, cylinder head. It is a space in which piston makes a reciprocating motion. The cylinder is a integral part of cylinder block in 100 cc motorcycle. Now, we can vary the volume created in the center by during the operation of engine is filled with the working fluid. Just remember, this cylinder is getting filled with the working fluid which is supplied through a throttle valve. So, there are 4 types of processes: suction, compression, expansion and exhaust. Please remember, during expansion valve we get the power. This is your connecting rod, and it is a piston connecting with connecting rod. It is a cylindrical component, as you see the shape of the piston, and it moves in the cylinder from one top dead center to bottom dead center. It fits perfectly into the cylinder, providing a gas tight space with the help of piston rings and lubricant. It forms first link in transmitting the force exerted by the combustion gases to the crankshaft. Now, what is the function of piston? You please remember that piston is a very important part in the motorcycle, because it transmits the force of explosion to the crankshaft. It forms a seal so that high pressure gases from the combustion chamber do not escape into the crankcase, so there is no loss of power or spoiling of the engine oil. It also serves as a guide and a bearing for a small end of the connecting rod. It basically guides the direction of the motion. Another important part is the piston rings. Piston rings is fitted in the grooves around the piston. It provides a tight sealing effect between the piston and the cylinder valve, and thus preventing the leakage of combustion gases or losses of compression during the compression stroke. So, piston rings, my dear friend, plays an important role. If there is a wear and tear, your gases will be leaked and there will be less power on the crankshaft. In order to fix the piston with connecting rod, the piston pin is used. So, therefore, it forms a link between the small end of the connecting rod and the piston. The shape of the piston pin is given in the figure. Now, as I have told you that in connecting rod, you have a piston, you have a crankshaft, and it transmits power from piston to crankshaft. It has 2 ends, one is small end and one is big end. The shape is given to you. It is a general shape. It may vary from one company to another company. Now, crankshaft. When you transmit the power from piston to connecting rod, there is some type of a transmitting element which can take the power from the connecting rod and transmit to crankshaft, and further it shaft and then to the wheel. The balance weight are provided on the crankshaft. It balances the weights of various components of the rotating system. Otherwise, there will be inertia and the motion will be less as compared to desired one. So, today we have discussed about the various components of motorcycle. I do not hope but trust that my session will be useful in your this certificate program. And another important thing which I want to say, please visit some dealer or the service station and try to see the parts which I have explained to you in detail. Thank you very much.